rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing while we recognize those who have passed in recent weeks. Michael Joseph Sarno, Reverend George Peter Fisher Jr., Lori Nesbitt, Nicholas R. Provost.
Get them chairs.
Roll call. Mike.
Here.
Paul.
Here.
Bill.
Here.
Kathy. Here. I have a full board tonight. Fire exits are directly behind me. If there's any emergency whatsoever, we go down the fire escape. Okay? Don't use the elevator, the steps. No correspondence, I don't believe. Attorneys' concerns.
No, we haven't addressed already.
Okay. So this time of the meeting, and there's agendas over there, we do what they call petitioners. Anybody that wants to come in front of the board to discuss an issue that they think as a taxpayer or as a resident of the town of Wawarsing that it is important to them, they can come up at this time on Zoom or in the audience. So if anybody wants to come up and discuss any concerns, this is the right time. Paul?
Nobody there.
Okay. So what we're going to do first in the meeting is, it is 7:05, so we're going to go to a public hearing, and the purpose of the public hearing is to receive input and comments from the public regarding adding Chapter 77 to be known as Meeting VIA Video Conferencing by the Town Board of the Town of Wawarsing.
Make the motion to open meeting. Open the hearing.
Kathy makes the motion.
Second.
Bill seconds it. It's an open public hearing. What the issue is, I'll have Mr. Tozzolino discuss it. It has to do with a state rule on holding meetings, public meetings. Initially, when COVID started, we had to eliminate the people that came to the building because of COVID, and then there was a obvious fruitful setup of Zoom meetings, and then over the period of the last 2 years, it's gotten to the point where they're either renewing or reconfiguring this law. So, can you speak on that?
Yep. Very briefly, basically what it does is the governor actually the other day just expanded the remote meetings law, which basically allows the public meetings to be held in a virtual space. So that would include things like tonight's board meeting. It would include planning board meetings, zoning board meetings, town recreation meetings, etc. Pretty much any of the business of town government. The governor's mandate as a result of COVID allowed those meetings to be done virtually. That's been extended several times during COVID. And as a lot of things happened, it became something that, you, the public, and quite honestly, us as officials, we pretty much got used to it, and it became a good thing. A lot of people gave a lot of positive input about the ability to attend the meeting live, obviously, like all the folks that are here tonight, but also we have a lot of people who do watch the meetings virtually. So it's due to expire the middle of July. So what we've been allowed to do as a result of what the laws state, and Mr. Collier wrote up the proposed law for us, each and every municipality is allowed to basically put into motion a virtual meeting law. So the purpose of this public hearing is to basically get any input from the public, positive or negative, against that idea. And then the plan basically is for the town board to pass a resolution that would allow us to continue on past when the COVID criteria is removed, and to continue to have meetings in a virtual fashion like we're doing tonight, and like we've done, as I said before, with the planning board, zoning board, parks meetings, et cetera. Basically, any public meeting will be able to continue to do them in a virtual fashion as well as in person. So that's pretty much what that's all about.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep.
So again, it's a public hearing. If there's any comments from anybody on Zoom or in the audience, any more information that they would need at the present time, or that's it's up to the public.
Yeah. Would you like to come and speak? Could you come up to the podium?
Or near the podium.
We kind of turned it
It's
on.
turned around the wrong way, but that's okay.
It's okay, you can just stand there.
You can stand there.
I just wanted to say that I think the more accessibility and the more transparency, the better. So I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. Thanks. Janet Bishop,
Yes.
Abby.
Can you spell your last name?
BACHANT.
Ready? So, yeah.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing on the video conferencing law.
Second.
So the, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. So at this time, we're going to go a little bit out of order in the meeting. Tonight, what we're going to do is go to the second page of the agenda that discusses Mr. Danny Santiago and Christopher Benson. So at this time, we're going to do a resolution, and then we're going to do a presentation with two gentlemen and their families by the podium. So I have a resolution of the Town Board of Wawarsing. By resolution is pleased to declare June 16th, 2022 to be Danny Santiago, Daniel Santiago, and Christopher Benson Day.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Paul makes that motion, and Mike seconds it. That's a roll call vote, so it's Mike,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Phil,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that is unanimous. And at this point, I'd like to come to the podium and discuss how we're going to recognize these two gentlemen.
Oh, I didn't help, huh?
That's okay.
I didn't help.
That's okay, Charlie.
Although you helped me get into some movement. So I'd like Daniel and Chris to come up. If you want your families to come up, that's fine too. We have John Cabarrus here, who's the county legislator, and we do have a pride of Ulster County from the Ulster County legislature. I went down there yesterday about this and worked it out. So what it says is, the pride of Ulster County, an award presented by Ulster County legislature, U.S. Army engineer, actually specialist engineer, Chris Benson, in recognition of your continued efforts to support your fellow veterans and raise awareness for veteran suicide prevention, mental health, and post-traumatic stress disorder services. Pride of Ulster County again, Staff Sergeant, Army Staff Sergeant Daniel Santiago, in recognition of your continued service to raise funding and awareness for veterans suicide prevention, mental health, and post-traumatic stress disorder. 16th day of June, Tracy Bartles, Chair of the Ulster County Legislature. Then we have the Town of Wawarsing certificate for these two gentlemen. And it reads like this. The Town of Wawarsing declares June 16th, 2022 as Daniel Santiago and Christopher Benson Day. Oh, there's... What's it? Zoe? Zoe, how you doing, Zoe? Just hold it down. All right, so the Town of Wawarsing recognizes Daniel Santiago for his service to this country, obtaining the rank of U.S. Army Sergeant 10th Mountain Division from 2000 through 2010. Daniel's service included tours in Afghanistan, Iraq, and South Korea. The Town of Wawarsing recognizes Christopher Benson for his service to this country, obtaining the rank of U.S. Army Specialist 854 Engine Battalion from 1993 to 2002. Whereas Daniel Santiago in recent years, a number of years, began marching to raise money and awareness for veteran suicide and mental illness who battled depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, PSTD, in this country. Whereas on Memorial Day 2021 and 2022, Daniel Chris marched 22 miles to represent the average of veterans who take their life each day. In 2021, on Veterans Day, Daniel took it to the next level and marched 22 hours from Port Jervis to Saugerties, which was just over 70 miles. And that's with full uniform, correct? Yes. Whereas this year on Memorial Day, Daniel took part in the Kurhangsa Memorial Day ceremonies honoring our fallen soldiers by laying the wreath with the Kurhangsa Fire Department President Chris Depew and United States Marine veteran, Town of Wawarsing Justice Charles D. Sean. Whereas today, June 16th, 2022, Town Board of the Town of Wawarsing honors and appreciates the dedication of Daniel Santiago and Christopher Benson, who have served our country and continue to be an example for everybody to be proud of and admire for bringing much needed attention to veteran suicide. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Wawarsing declares June 16, 2022, Daniel Santiago and Christopher Benson Day in appreciation of their military service to the United States, dedication to our community, and bringing awareness to post-traumatic stress disorder. The Town Board of the Town of Wawarsing. All right. Also, I like to mention, well, let's get some family videos here. That's a nice hat. You're wearing Daddy's hat. So I'd like to thank the families of Daniel and Chris, the parents especially, for raising their children in a respectful manner, to dedicate their lives to this country and to our community, and to put themselves at risk every day. And the issues that come with that distinguished service comes a lot of pain and a lot of reward. But today we're looking at the pain, and I appreciate everybody coming. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Very much. Thank you. Good job. Nice, nicely done.
So we're gonna start right here. Yep.
All right, we have a second resolution that is dealing with the video conferencing. The Town Board of Wawarsing, by resolution, adopts the rules and procedures for video conferencing of meetings by the Town Board and the public bodies of the Town of Wawarsing.
I'll make it.
Paul makes a motion.
Second.
Mike seconds it. The roll call vote. Michael?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie? And I vote aye. That resolution is carried. Another resolution on video conferencing is that the Wawarsing Town Board by resolution adopts local law number 4 of 2022 to participate in meetings via video conferencing by the town board of the town of Wawarsing.
I'll make it.
Paul makes a motion, Mike seconds it, roll call vote, Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
And that motion is carried. The Wawarsing Town Board by resolution approves to designate the town supervisor as a certifying official officer of the town of Wawarsing's Kerhonkson Sanitary Sewer Collection System Phase 2 project requested as CFA 2022 application 117759.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes that motion, Bill seconds it. Roll call vote, Michael?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And that motion is carried. I vote aye. Resolution, Town Board by resolution approves to close for the observation of Juneteenth on June 20th and further 2022, and resolves to authorize the supervisor to execute a memorandum of agreement between the town of Wawarsing and the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 363, Highway and Transfer Station, and Water, Wastewater Maintenance and Airport, and American Federation, State, County, and Municipal Employees Council 66 Clerical Union, AFSCME Union.
So moved. Second.
Mike makes the motion, Bill seconds it, roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So, we do have something here, and it's the last resolution.
Yep.
Meeting. The Town Board of Wawarsing by resolution declares that the structures located at 28 Briggs Highway, Ellenville, New York, SBL number 81.004-235.19, and owned by Peter Stewart, is unsafe and dangerous. The owner is ordered to repair and demolish same by August 4th, 2020. Public hearing is set for August 4th, 2020 at 7:15 to determine if repairs have been made to said structure, and if not, take further action, including going out to bid and having a structure demolished and removed, and have expenses assessed to the property owner.
So moved.
Mike makes that motion, Cassie seconds it, it's a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So at this time, we go into the business of the meeting, which is, there are no budget modifications. Town Board approved the bills as audited. We have 3 signatures, correct?
Correct.
Somebody makes a motion?
So moved.
Bill makes a motion, Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. Town Board to approve the Assessor Department report for April and May. Have a motion?
So moved.
Bill makes a motion,
I'll second. Good.
Paul seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion's carried. And the Building Department, the Justice Department, the Highway Department, the Town Clerk's report, the Maintenance report, the Youth Commission report, the Supervisor's report. Have a motion?
Make it.
Second.
Paul makes the motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion, those motions are carried. 10, we didn't have the report. The number 12, Town Board to rescind the motion made on June 2nd, hiring Sarah Kraft, head lifeguard at $17 per hour.
So moved.
Bill makes the
Second.
motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. 13, Town Board to approve the hiring of various staff members for the Camp Shawongo. This is per the recommendation of the Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission hiring committees. Hires are subject to pre-employment drug testing.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Sorry about that.
No problem.
14, Town Board to hire Shania Webb for the position of part-time security attendant at Lebanon Park. This is for a 20-hour work week at $15 per hour. Hire is subject to pre-employment drug testing.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town Board to approve payment application number 3 in the amount of $402,087.50 to Adventus Construction Company, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Plant and Wellfield Plumbing.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Darcy's makes the motion and Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. 16, Town Board to approve payment application number 3 in the amount of $28,679.55 to Ray S. Pantel, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Wellfield, the electrical.
I'll move it.
Second.
That would be Cassie makes the motion and Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town Board to approve the payment number 3 in the amount of $21,850 to T. McElligott, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Wellfield and mechanical construction.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motions are carried. Town Board to approve payment number 9 in the amount of $199,619.23 to TAM Enterprises, Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment and Wellfield.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Town Board to approve payment number 4 in the amount of $2,850 to Statewide Aquastore for the Wawarsing Water District Water Storage Tank Phase 1.
Move it.
Second.
Cassie makes a motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town Board to approve payment application number 5 in the amount of $43,381.75 to State Aquastore for the Wawarsing Water District Water Storage Tank Phase 1.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. Town Board to approve the purchase of 200 Badger meters and accessories in the amount of $79,874,000 for the Wawarsing Water District.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
So, number 22, Town Board to approve invoice number 238895 from Atlantic Testing Labs in the amount of $3,449 for the Wawarsing Water District.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes the motion, Paul seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. So all of those recent motions that we
14 through
made
22.
with the large number of dollars are paid by the New York City DEP, the Department of Water, that supplies the water to New York City. So it's not coming out of the town of Wawarsing's pockets. That's a good thing, but then again, the DEP had a leaky aqueduct for a number of years, and they're through negotiations. Over a long time period, they've come to create this district between Napanock and Kerhonkson. They started in Kerhonkson, and they'll be finished on Institution Road. The water treatment plant will be there in the fall, and hopefully the water will be turned on, correct?
Soon.
Yeah, so why don't you speak to what's going on with the lateral,
Okay, so, with the exception of the Grant Street contract, which is stuck at the moment, the laterals have all been connected, have gone out to our lateral roads. As soon as I have, I'm going to speak to releases later, but as soon as I have all my releases, the individual connections will happen. We've had this little hiccup here in the month of June, but I'm hoping that connections will start happening in July. And as Terry said, 14 through 22 was all DEP money, not Wawarsing taxpayer money paying those bills. So,
and rightfully so.
Yes.
So, number 23, Town Board to authorize the town clerk to publish a legal notice of estoppel regarding the resolution authorizing the issuance $9,100,000 bond to pay the cost of construction of a new highway garage and reconstruction of an existing highway garage in and for said town.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
And again, that's a bond. I believe the numbers may be in the $7 million range, but it came out through a bond situation, and whatever the number is comfortably in that range, but we're hoping it to be around $7 million, which may impact the average taxpayer approximately $70-some, between $70 and $90 a year. So the highway garage was built in 1972, and it's lived past its life, and it's in a position where it's It cannot continue to operate in that fashion or safely in that, and for what today's standards are with the size of trucks, the way that we store our trucks, the way, you know, it's just, we have millions of dollars of equipment, you know, with our trucks. We have 2 tree trucks that are close to $600,000 for 2 trucks.
Yeah, close to 600.
So, and that's just for two pieces of equipment. So the rest of our fleet of equipment, of vehicles and equipment, it just makes sense. And we've been working on this for quite a while. Just wasn't done in the last couple, you know, this year. This has been over a period of 3 or 4 years that this is going, and
It's been more than 3 or 4 years, probably 7 or 8 years.
well, but we did hire Miller Engineering from Albany to address it. But that wasn't 8 years ago, but it is absolutely needed, and we spend your money wisely. 24, town board to approve the release of remaining monies being held in escrow in the amount of $1,221.25 for Camp Viva, amended site plan in the planning board. This is per the recommendation of the Town of Wawarsing Planning Board in a letter dated June 13, 2022.
So moved.
Bill makes that motion.
Second.
Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve Honorable Charles D. Deshawn, Town Justice, to attend New York State Magistrates Association Annual Conference. The conference will be held Sunday, October 30th, 2022 through Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022 at the Crown Plaza, Lake Placid, New York. The amount of the conference not to exceed $1,200. A town vehicle will be used for the transportation.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes the motion. Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to receive input from the public for July 21st, 2022 at 7:05 at the Town Hall regarding local law of 2022, a law amending Chapter 112, zoning to add daycare and nursery school facilities and schools as a permitted use in the RU district.
So moved.
Yes. Did we get the motion second?
So moved. So moved, and who seconded?
And he seconded.
Bill and Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Town board to authorize the supervisor to refer the local law of 2022 to the Town of Wawarsing Planning Board for their review and comment, amending Chapter 112 zoning to add daycare and nursery school facilities and schools as a permitted use in the RU district.
So moved.
Bill Brown makes the motion. Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board authorized the supervisor to refer local law of 2022 to the County of Ulster Planning Board for the review and comment, amending Chapter 112 zoning to add daycare and nursery school facilities and schools as a permitted use in the RU district.
I'll move that one.
We'll all move it.
Okay, so that was Bill Brown? No, I mean, Cassie Score makes the motion and Bill Brown seconds it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Number 29, town board to declare the Town of Wawarsing as lead agency for the action amending Chapter 112 zoning to daycare and nursery school facilities as schools as permitted use in the RU district, and authorize the supervisor to sign all necessary documentation. Declare such an action as a Type 1 action.
So moved.
Bill Brown makes a motion, Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried. Number 30, town board to accept the request for proposals for the creation of a no-fee public wireless Wi-Fi network at Libden Park and transfer station.
I'll make it.
Paul makes the motion.
Second.
Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Barry, you may want to
Yes.
let them know that this will,
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
about the credit card thing.
Yeah, I know. We're going to go to number 2 basically, and then we'll say that.
Okay.
So number 31, town board to award the request for proposals for the creation of a no-fee public wireless Wi-Fi network at Libden Park and transfer station to Channel Communications LLC in the amount of
So moved.
$195,564.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Bill.
I'll make the motion, and the twins over there.
We had an equal second, so we'll take it. We'll take it
All right.
half and half.
Play, what's that game with the rocks?
Rocks, paper, scissors.
Yeah. Paul Pezzolino makes a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. So let's have a conversation about what this really means, because I'll discuss it and then have Paul discuss it, but like Bill was mentioning here, the transfer station presently doesn't have the ability to, or we don't have the mechanism to have debit cards or credit cards there. And this is one way of improving that, in being able to have that. It's not the only reason that this whole project is going in that direction. It actually includes Littman Park and the transfer station as well. So, discuss where we
Just
are.
a little bit briefly to explain to the public. There's part of what happened with COVID was the American Rescue Plan. And there's funding that the Town of Wawarsing and many municipalities and towns basically around the country have received as part of the American Rescue Plan money. And Wi-Fi is one of the allowed uses for some of this American Rescue Plan money. And the thought process behind it is that we're in a rural town. We've got a lot of areas within the town where there is unfortunately still no broadband access. We had a situation where when we were in serious lockdown, we had situations where students had basically no place to be able to utilize their Chromebooks from school because they didn't have Wi-Fi access. So this is a multifaceted opportunity for us to be able to utilize these type of funds that were part of the American Rescue Plan money to provide community-wide access at Littman Park, at the transfer station, and we're also looking at expanding some of this into some of the other parks and then also the downtown area of Ellenville as well. Everybody kind of knows these days that without internet access, broadband access, it's difficult to get things done. Another issue too, from a safety standpoint, the cell phone access in the Littman Park area is questionable at best many times. We've got a lot of events that happen at Littman Park. So from a safety standpoint, this will allow for communication outside the park as well. And also to help support, quite honestly, events that we do at Littman Park in addition to the general public use of the park. There's things like the bicycle organization that uses the bicycle trails that are up in Littman Park.
We have New York State Interscholastic Cycling Association. It's been fortunate to come to the town of Wawarsing. Some people don't know about it, but we're going to have 2 races this year. One of them was last month, and it was about 250 people coming from the Albany capital region down to Westchester, and it's good for the community. It's good, it's good to bring people in here with lodging situations. Obviously, we don't have an extreme amount of lodging, but from a tourism standpoint and a lot of different points.
Part of the implementation also of the project is that anyone who uses the access to the municipal Wi-Fi is going to be on whatever device they happen to use it with. There'll be essentially a Town of Wawarsing welcome screen that'll be used to advertise events that are going on within the town. It'll help advertise information about the different parks, about the restaurants, about Shadowland, etc. It's going to be another communication method that anyone that comes to the town and starts to utilize our park facilities will be able to then get more information as to what's going on in the town.
So from my standpoint, I'm going to say I'm not totally up to speed on this. Can you give us a real short, understandable breakdown of what is going to be provided and how you use it? You're saying Wi-Fi, you're saying internet.
Basically, the way the design was done, from one end of Littman Park to the other, including all the way up to the town transfer station, if you have a Wi-Fi accessible device, you will have Wi-Fi connectivity anytime you're on that property. And it's going to be supported by a fiber connection through a fiber company that actually is out on 209 already. So it will actually be able to support a substantial number of simultaneous users, way more than traditional public Wi-Fi that you may have experienced. In, for example, I know some of our restaurants, attempt to try to do some Wi-Fi, but there's a lot of connectivity issues and a lot of bandwidth issues. We've had a firm that we chose to do this project that actually did Central Park in New York City. They did Madison Square Garden, among some of the other projects that they've done. They also did a project up in Cherry Valley, New York, which is up near Cooperstown, where they actually did a project for them as well to do, again, municipal Wi-Fi for that whole area up there. So we're very confident that we've got a good engineering design in place. They went through a lot of substantial work in designing it, and it's going to be pretty exciting to be able to turn this on. The good news too, the schedule says that by August 1st we ought to get this thing turned on. So I'm sure we'll have some hiccups along the way, but I'm pretty confident that you'll see for sure by Labor Day this thing fully up and running and debugged. But by August 1st, it actually ought to be operational.
So you'll be able to use your phone.
Your phone, your tablet, your laptop, if you want to come to Littman Park. And
how about movies?
You'll be able to download and stream things as well, because we're going to have enough bandwidth to do that.
Off your phone, off laptop, but
Yep.
major.
We could do that too. That's some of the other things that Sam Bugner's been looking at and talking about, having community movies, but having a way to do that was something that we didn't have because we had no accessibility to broadband connectivity there at the park. Once that's in place, we'll be able to do those type of things as well. So we've got a lot of hope and a lot of plans for it.
So Paul had mentioned the ARPA money. It's American Rescue money, and the Town of Wawarsing received about $877,000 for that, but only about half of that was given to the Town of Wawarsing initially, and then the rest of it will go after we've established different reasons for spending it. But also we have what they used to basically just call a cable fund. John Gavars was on the town board, or in previous years, over the last 10, 15 years, it was at one point feasible to work with Spectrum and, get neighborhoods hooked up with cable. So as Paul had mentioned, I'm not going to say that that's not possible, but with the way that we're doing these things now, it's better and probably less expensive. The last time, it was John was on the board when we did Oak Ridge. I think we did about 99 homes, and it basically cost about $125,000. But then in recent years, the last year or so, we looked at a project up in Cohasson that was 25 homes, and it was like $250,000. So.
The company that's doing the fiber is a company called First Light. They're out of Albany. They have the ability to extend fiber into more and more of the community here. As I said, there is a backbone across Route 209, so the connection to Littman Park was actually a very simple thing, and it's not going to cost the town anything to actually bring the fiber to Littman Park. It will just be the operating costs of it once it's in place. So I have hopes of working with the company and seeing where else within the town we can expand fiber and maybe get some competitive environment. And I know the folks on Shaft 2A Road would love to have things, and we haven't forgotten about you, but it's a slow process. But the company that is actually doing this project for the town in the park has already been up on Shaft 2A, and we've looked at your situation there, and we've got some ideas. I know there's some dark fiber that's up there, and there may be some ways to do things, but I don't want to commit to any dates or times because, as you know, these things can take longer than you expect. But there is some light at the end of the tunnel, essentially, to do some things in other ways.
So just to wrap this up, he had mentioned the ARPA funding, but we also have that cable fund that's probably has about $400,000 in it, which accrues interest or whatever. So the previous method that we discussed that wasn't sort of feasible anymore. It'll be a combination of those two funds, and that will impact the town budget. It's not going to affect this year's, next year's taxes for the residents, and that's a very good thing.
Yep.
We're not borrowing or bonding or doing anything. We're utilizing funds from the federal government and from what we've accrued over the years. Because the way it works with Spectrum is if you have a phone bill, 5% of that phone bill goes to the town. So if it's a $100 bill, it's $5 goes to the town for every customer. And that fund was, I think the 2/3 of that goes into that account. So
Yep.
it's put aside specifically for that. It's not to be used for buying trucks or buying, anything. It's for that specific purpose. So now, in the last year or so, we're coming up with some good reasons and good ways to reach out and get Wi-Fi and internet to different places. So where are we?
32.
32 is town board to approve Frank Wood, code enforcement officer, to work up to 35 hours per week from June 24th through July 8th as needed in the building department.
So moved.
Mike makes that motion, Bill seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 33 is due to emergency reasons, the town board is to approve a quote from Chemung Supply Corp. in the amount of $40,640.20 for the repair and installation of a new guardrail for Barber Road Bridge.
So moved. Second.
Bill makes a motion, Mike seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion's carried. At this time, that's the end of the agenda, and I think Tony has a lot to say, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to say.
Tony's
I
good.
usually don't say too much, but,
Tonight.
yeah, usually I don't say much at all. But tonight, we talked about the town barn. That was a 20-year building. That's all it was supposed to be. It was never maintained properly. We got 54 years out of it. So we got to do something. I mean, we got millions of dollars in trucks on there. Probably roughly $5 million just in trucks, without anything else. No small stuff in there. That has to be taken care of. That's number one. Number two, we put a pipe up in Oak Ridge between Oaton's Road and
Wintish.
Wintish. We put barricades up, we put message boards up. You know how many people can't read? They pull right up to the site, we got this big opening, 60 feet wide. The pipe is 5 feet in diameter. And they pull up and they expect you to move the equipment. Yes, now they're gonna get across. I mean, it's sad, it's really sad. And some of them really get frustrated. Meanwhile, we had the message board up over a week up there, both sides. That irritated me a lot. Due to the COVID stuff, I mean, all the prices are going up on the site. We had a lot of plans and do a lot of work. Right now, everything is going up and up and up. Salt's going up, fuel's going up, parts going up. So we're gonna do the best we can what we planned on doing. We planned roughly to do 10 miles of paving, which our favorite rope. We're doing roughly 10 miles of sealing. That's still in the works. We're gonna do something on CF2A this year, but I was told this project ain't gonna start till 2023. Because I'm trying to eliminate all dirt roads. You got a couple left.
That's a big one. How many miles of road do we have?
About 180 miles.
And it's
Single lane, so you gotta do it full lane. So that's what I got for tonight.
It actually happens to be one of the largest
I think we're second largest in the state.
in the state, not just the county. Okay. All right, Tom. Mike Machetta. You have a lot of rain.
Yeah, I don't have too much to tell. I won't keep you long. From the emergency services aspect, we don't meet before we don't meet before July 4th, which would be our next holiday coming up. Generally, we see an increase in calls between Labor Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July. It's our three biggest holidays. Call volume went down for Memorial Day, which is great. Let's hope it follows through for 4th of July and everybody gets out and enjoys the parade. I'm anticipating a beautiful sunny day. I know somebody who knows Puxatawny Phil, so we're good to go. There'll be no problems there. So just everybody be careful, enjoy the holidays. Tony, kudos to you. Running a tight ship there with the guys in the highway department, keeping our roads the way they are. Keep up the good work, buddy. As far as the building department goes, I have a report. We're really plugging along. We're very, very busy. Like I said last month and the month before, just please be a little patient with us. We're a little understaffed and we're pulling through a lot of permits this past month. They were able to process 56 permits, 24 C of Os, and 149 inspections, from site inspections to electrical. So everything pretty much from soup to nuts. I know there's been some people upset it's taken some time to get inspections, taking some time to get your permits filled. Just please bear with us. It's the busiest time of the year right now. Everybody does all their building mainly in the summertime. With our weekend people, our summer people, and the regular residents that are here, just give us a little bit of leeway in trying to get the permits out. We will get to everybody. It's just taking a little extra time. Last thing I have for this evening, we met during this past week. Myself, Terry Hauk, Roger Buckwalter, Brian Shug met over at the Hunt Emergency Shelter. There has been a C of O given to the emergency shelter. It's pretty much a bare building with some cots that are in storage, so we can actually house up to 16 people right now, which is what they've granted us. If there was an emergency today, yeah, we can bring people in there, but we're not really ready to bring anybody into the emergency shelter. We need a lot of things to be done. Logistically, it's just starting. Intermunicipal agreement between the town and the village. That's very important. The paperwork has to be done correctly, which the attorneys, I understand, are going to start working on. Who's going to cover expenses? Who's going to man the emergency shelter? How the Red Cross gets involved. There's showers there, bathrooms. Who's going to be in charge of cleaning and maintain the building? There's a lot of stuff that has to be ironed out, but we are finally moving forward. It's been a long time coming, but there'll be more in the future that I'll be able to report once we have our next meeting. But again, the first step has been taken, and we should be pretty much on the road to opening up soon. Thank you.
Okay, the only thing I was going to comment on, because we already talked about the Wi-Fi project, is you notice we're paying a lot of bills for the Wawarsing Water District, and that's really exciting because since we're paying the bills because a lot of the work is done. So we're getting real close to turning on water for those folks in the new Wawarsing Water District, and that's why there were all those bills that got paid tonight. And that's pretty much all I had to say for tonight.
Okay, we're going to start with the cemeteries. The Napanock Rural Cemetery, which is located in Hill Street in Napanock, is an old cemetery. We received several complaints there about individuals driving four-wheelers and other recreational vehicles through the cemeteries, and some cemetery headstones getting knocked over and stuff like that. So we've ordered signs to put up in the cemetery with rules so that we... And that's the sign,
Terry.
for the cemetery itself. But once these signs are up, then law enforcement can patrol the area and issue summonses. And Lippman Park, we've also ordered new signs for down there regarding use. No alcohol, no smoking, no vaping, no dogs. We've increased the size of the sign so they can be read more easily, and we're going to put the rules of the pavilions on the inside of the pavilions, and those other signs on the outside the pavilions, and also at all entryways of the park. We ask that individuals respect the park and respect the rules and regulations so that everyone can enjoy the parks. Summer camp is going to open on June 27th. We've got all the individuals hired. We're still in need of some lifeguards. If anybody has anyone in your family or you know anyone who may be interested in lifeguarding, give Sam a call. And we're going to have a class in early July to certify the lifeguards. So anybody that may be interested. And an exciting thing that happened in the town was able to work with the county, and we have set up some informational days and some days where they can assist our veterans, social services. Someone from the county executive's office was there, economic development, the office of the aging. We staged it in the church across the street on June 8th. They'll be coming again on September 7th and again on December 7th. So we urge everyone to take advantage of that. You don't have to go to Kingston. They're bringing the offices here, and it was a huge success last time, and we're looking for an even bigger success this time.
Those are Wednesday
We can
days,
get
right?
there. Those are Wednesdays, the same day that the motor vehicle bus is here. And that's about all I have.
As my residents in the Wawarsing Water District know, that they all received, the majority of them received the letter and the release in the mail that is being required it's the final release we need in order to connect their water. I spent today in the field going door to door. I met some amazing people. They have real legitimate concerns, and I hope I was able to alleviate their concerns, or at least tell them that it's perfectly okay to take that release to the lawyer of their choice and have it looked at, and then just bring it to me or notify me if they don't want the water. We have a total. We collected 14 today, but we have a total of, at last count, 65 releases. We have 192 residents that need to sign, but we've made a good faith effort. I'm waiting to hear back from the DEP if we can get started with these 65. They haven't responded to me on that yet, but I'm hoping to hear back from them either tomorrow or Monday. Tuesday, actually, because Monday's a holiday. I had an opportunity to sit in on 2 days of training with the camp counselor staff, and they are such enthusiastic employees at the moment. I don't know if it's going to last, but they were having such a good time, and they were so excited to be doing this. And some the returners were encouraging the new people that had never done any of this training before, and it was a real team building experience. The 2 days that I was there, I was able to stop in and see them, and Sam has a real good feeling that the camp is going to be really good this year. The tents are up over there. She went over to make sure we have to have certain tents up so that there's places they can get out of the heat if they need it, and they do crafts under them and stuff like that. So they were delivered. We passed Juneteenth in our motion, so let the public know that Town Hall will be closed on Monday. It'll be posted on the doors, but we'll be back here on Tuesday. And that's all I have tonight. Jerry, what you got?
Thank you. So as Mike had said, everybody, we won't have another meeting until July 7th, so enjoy the 4th of July weekend, and remember what the reason we're celebrating it for. And the budget, like I mentioned during the meeting, the Wi-Fi costs that we passed tonight are not going to be out of the town budget. Some of it's going to come from the ARPA money, but some of it's going to come from the cable. So it's not going to affect the budget. The Wawarsing Water District has all the different things that were passed tonight. Is again not something that the taxpayers are going to have to pay for. They're actually getting their line right to their house from the road. That's part of the situation. Normally, when you create a district, the individual homes or businesses have to pay for the line from the street to the house, but in this case, it's not anybody's fault except the aqueduct is leaking, and so they took their responsibility of paying for that. We hired Lisa Wislick as a human resources person. We interviewed, I think I was at 9 people. We interviewed a lot of pretty good quality candidates, and we came up, I believe, with a very good candidate, and we started today. So presently, over the number of years, before we had an HR person, 5 people were doing that position. My legislative aide and a couple people in the accounting office. So that's a big addition to the town. It's going to make the town function better and faster, in a good manner. As far as also staffing, We interviewed for a building inspector, and building inspector we interviewed is a very good candidate. And we're going through the civil service process presently right now to get this done, and have added an additional person to the building department, which will include somebody that's managing the department for the building inspector one, which is much needed. That's the town. What Bill Brown was talking about with Ulster County, John Milgram, who was a Ulster County deputy executive, he's taken a different title, but he still is working with the county executive's office, and he brought down with Laura Nordstrom from the county this particular day with the 5 different agencies that came and set it up at the Methodist Church. And also, we also had a vaccination day at the community library, the community room in the library. So that went fairly well too. And once it's going to be again in September,
Yes, September
and
7th.
then December.
Yep.
So for those 2 extra days, and we're putting it out that the first one was a good situation. It worked out pretty good, but I think by people coming to meetings, people talking, people, a lot of people are on Facebook or whatever. We are going to put it on our channel 23. But in addition to social media, I like to say that it should be people to people, person to person, and talk to your family or your friends as far as the services that they're providing from the county, and also the vaccination again. From what I understand, in September, and these dates might not be accurate, but with the different vaccines, Paul, me and you were speaking to that.
Oh, there's supposed to be a new version of the booster shot that's
Right.
supposed to handle more of the variants.
Yeah, so that's could be an advantage for people that are compromised, or people that just want to be protected, and they have to obviously make their own decision when you're doing that. But again, it is their decision, individual's decision. On the agenda, numbers 26 through 29 involve amending our town law regarding zoning and adding daycare and local law to the RU district. And the town board is very interested in having daycare. Presently, I don't believe the school provides pre-K, and it's just a needed business in the town, which is just not a business, it's taking care of and raising people. So we appreciate everyone that's working on this and getting it in the right direction as fast as we can. And we thank the proprietor, which I believe is in the audience, right?
Thank you, guys.
And Mrs. Angie Paoli. That's and anybody else that we want to mention back there?
The church is here.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for coming. And again, this has been planned out. Our legal team has looked at it, and everything is done the proper way. And these 4 motions that we passed are a good start to getting that done, and I'm looking forward to it.
Fastest way to expedite it too, right?
It is the best, yeah. Well, we went through that process with the proprietors of business. That's what Bill and I did over the last week and a half. So again, yes, and I'd like to thank the highway guys and Tony, obviously, with getting roads cleaned and culverts cleaned up and replaced, and now the paving. We were a little bit behind on paving, but we're hopefully getting to that point. So again, some of the upcoming meetings are July 7th, the town board meeting. Environmental Conservation Committee meets on July 5th. Historic Preservation Committee, July 11th. Zoning Board meeting, July 12th. July 21st is another town board meeting, so it's the first and third Thursdays, and then the planning board on the 19th of July. So for that, I call for a motion.
I make a motion.
Mike makes a motion
To adjourn.
To adjourn.
And who seconds?
Second. I think we all do.
I think it was Paul this time. So we'll close the meeting tonight, and thank you for coming.
Aye.
All right.